guys, it's me. Happy Thursday, which means it's time for a Rebels recap. Okay, quick announcement. I will no longer be doing weekly vlogs or Once Upon a Time recaps. Honestly, I just couldn't get into Once Upon a Time, and also the weekly recaps, since I don't really do anything, that was just kind of boring and pointless. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do 3 more vlogs after this, just on Star Wars. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue after Rebels ends. I might actually only do Star Wars related vlogs from this point on. Honestly, I enjoy doing the videos. I like it. It's just that I started out getting a lot of views, and even though I'm still trying to promote the channel and the videos, I'm not getting those views anymore. So, I just don't, although I enjoy making them, I just don't see the point in continuing any other videos other than the Star Wars ones, because I can get a few views with these. So, I'm sorry if my channel takes off. I will reconsider doing other vlogs, and I will still post videos when I go out and do something fun, or the weather acts wacky or something. It's just that for right now, I will really only focus on Star Wars. Sorry, but I thought about this a lot, and it's just not worth it if I'm doing two other vlogs and none of my vlogs are really getting any views. So I'd rather just focus on one vlog for something I really like and put all my time into that. So I'm sorry, but I'm only just going to be focusing on Star Wars for the time being. And like I said, I have 3 more vlogs after this that I plan on doing for Rebels, and then I'm going to do one for Force Awakens when it comes out. And then I might just take a break and just post random videos of if I go on a trip or something. So sorry guys. But Rebels is here, so let's get to that. As you can tell, it's also St. Patrick's Day. Haha, happy St. Patrick's Day. But let's get to Rebels. Last night's episode was perfect. I mean, let's face it, at this point, we're kind of coming down from the emotional, mental torment buzz that was Droid Darkness. Like, oh my god, I am still talking about that episode. It was amazingly cool. But now, let's take a break. After all, we do have next week's episode, and then on the 30th is the season finale, which is a 1-hour mini movie event, much like Seeds of the Thaw, which kind of opened up the season. The Fall of the Apprentice Part 1 and 2, that was the season finale. So that's already, the title, like I said, it's already going to be really emotional and mental, probably more so than Shroud of Darkness. But before that, we have these 2 episodes. And tonight's episode was The Forgotten Droid, which I think a lot of us were waiting for. It's been a really interesting season, going and looking at some of these characters, learning more about Zeb and Sabine and Hera, and of course, we all want to know about Chopper. At least I do. So, The Forgotten Droid, if you cannot guess by the title, is the Chopper episode. And it is definitely a great episode to have, because we're, like I said, we're going into the home stretch. We're only a couple episodes. We're like 1 episode away from the finale, and it's gonna be a nice lighthearted episode about the cranky Astro Droid is just what the doctor ordered for us Star Wars fans. So tonight's episode was The Forgotten Droid, and it opens up with a group meeting of the Ghost Crew and the Rebels trying to discuss the perfect base. Among those meeting is Commander Sato, where he's kind of the guy running the show. Rex. Yay, Rex! I'm sorry, I'm always so excited when I see the characters Rex and Ahsoka, because they're my 2 favorite characters from Clone Wars. Yay, Rex was there. Ahsoka was not. She was probably off looking for clues. The one person that surprised me who was at this meeting was Ketsu. Was Ketsun? Oh no. If that name sounds familiar, but it might not. Ketsu is Sabine's friend. Now, we met her at, I think it was this season at the beginning, when Ketsu came to take the droid that Ezra and Sabine were sent to get it for a ransom, and she said she was working for the Black Sun, which is apparently this really bad group of bounty hunters to get involved with. But that's who Ketsun Ketsu was working with, and at the end of the episode, she and Sabine make up, and she decides maybe Sabine's right, there's more to life than being a bounty hunter, and, but she said she wasn't ready to join the rebellion. So it's kind of shocking to see in the opening scene of this episode, Ketsu is there, and she's helping the rebellion, when she had originally stated that she wasn't sure if she was ready to take on an empire. So, but Ketsu was there, and she helps them discover that they decide to go to the Yo system. It doesn't really have an there's like no Imperials, it seems safe, and it's okay, perfect for a base. There's just one problem. The fleet needs fuel. They aren't able to get to the Yo system because they don't have enough fuel. Well, let's face it, they keep jumping through hyperspace all the time and really have no safe place to land most of it, so they kind of have to get fuel a lot. Thankfully, they find out there's a big fuel shipment on this, like, I think it's called the Horizons base, but it has a big Imperial presence. Not an issue. Our favorite group of rebels, the Ghost crew, Hera, Kanan, Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, and of course Chopper, are off to go liberate the fuel from the Empire to give it to the people who need it the most, the rebels. So, they head off. Now, of course, they can't just randomly leave the ship. They might need to flee from Imperials really fast. So, they decide that all of them, except Chopper, will go to get the fuel. Chopper will stay and guard the ship just in case they have to make a quick getaway, which they usually do. But when they land at this thing, Chopper spies something. He spies a replacement for his original leg. See, Chopper's like that car that it's all great and perfect except the one door doesn't match. That's Chopper. His one strut, his one leg, it does not match his body. And he spots this leg from a merchant. He's like, oh, I want that. And Hera says, we're here for fuel, not for your leg. You stay here and behave. Does Chopper listen? No. Oh, spoiler alert. I keep forgetting to mention that. Chopper doesn't listen and takes off to go get the leg. He's so distracted by his goal of getting this leg that he doesn't see the Ghost crew who ran into trouble getting the fuel fleeing onto the ship and taking off, which means Chopper is left behind, and so he steals the leg. But the merchant catches him and tells the stormtroopers that, look, the droid stole the leg, and the stormtroopers are like, oh, he must be a rebel, they just stole a bunch of fuel. And so they go after Chopper, and he winds up in an Imperial transport ship where he meets a droid named AP5. I spent the entire episode thinking the droid's name was AB5. I actually wrote that down, and its name is AP5. Thank you, Rebels Recon. But AP5 is this totally underappreciated, bullied Imperial inventory droid. And he meets Chopper in the cargo bay and wants to turn him in. But then he and Chopper talk, and it turns out that both he and Chopper were in the Clone Wars together. Chopper was a navigation droid for, I think it was an A-Wing, and AP5 was a Republic military tactician analyst droid. But their lives went two different ways. They were both in the Battle of Ryloth, which succeeded. However, Chopper's A-Wing got damaged or something and crash landed. Luckily, Chopper was found by Hera. So Hera took him in and repaired him, and he's been with Hera ever since. Unfortunately, AP5 did not have such a happy ending. After the Clone Wars, when the Republic became the Empire, AP5 was downgraded from a military droid to inventory, and according to the guy running the ship they're on, he's about to be scrapped. So definitely not a good life for AP5 when you compare that to Chopper. But they bond, and Chopper encourages AP to rebel against his programming. He doesn't have to be this mindless machine doing whatever anybody tells him, and even frees AP from their restraining bolt. And they manage to take over the ship and get back to the fleet. Now, before that, they contact Hera, and Ezra's freaking out. It's like, oh my god, we left Chopper behind. We need to go get Chopper. And they arrive at the fleet, and the fleet's under attack. Yeah, so that's makes it easy. Also, it's really interesting during this battle, Hera lands the ghost inside Phoenix's home to refuel it, and I'm like, wow, Anakin Skywalker was an amazing pilot, but I don't think even he could pull off what Hera did. I mean, he did it in his Starfighter. I've seen that, and it was awesome. I've seen him land his Starfighter in the Twilight. I think we all have in Clone Wars. It's amazing. It was cool. But Hera lands a freaking, like, cargo ship, and it's like, wow, Anakin, you should be watching this and taking lessons. Hera can land ships in, like, the worst circumstances and not crash them. Sorry. But that is really cool. But AP and Chopper get a hold of him, and AP reveals, oh, the Yost system isn't that good. They just sent a bunch of Imperials over there. Here's a different system to go to. And he saves the day. In the process, spoiler alert, AP gets shot, but they get back to the fleet. Sabine is able to fix AP. And AP and Chopper are now friends. This leads us into the idea that the two droid buddies we had before this was R2-D2 and C-3PO, two very mismatched buddies. Now it looks like the new droid buddies are going to be Chopper and AP5, which is really hilarious because, again, they're total opposites of each other. It does lend an interesting note to something that I learned about in Clone Wars. One of the things is not Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, is that when they introduce classic characters into Rebels, they decide that they have to then introduce a new character who is just as compelling as this old character. So that way you don't have what they call small galaxy syndrome. You're getting the old characters, but then here are these new characters who are just as interesting and just as compelling as the original characters. They have Lando, well then they have Azamorigan and Vizago. You have R2-D2 and C-3PO where you have Chopper, and now you have AP5. So they introduce new characters to kind of offset the old ones. So it's really fun and interesting to see. So it's going to be interesting seeing Chopper and AP going forward. I definitely don't think AP is going to be one of those characters they just kind of throw away. Like, oh, here's this new character. It's awesome. Okay, bye. So it's definitely, I really hope they keep AP in a lot of the future episodes. That'd be really fun. I have to admit, I'm not the greatest 3PO fan. I kind of like AP more. But yeah, that was a really great episode. It was definitely more of a filler episode. But it was funny. It was bad joke night. There were so many bad jokes. At one point, Zeb calls Chopper Shopper. Ezra says, get a leg up, and like all these really, I won't make you pay an arm and a leg, like those types of really bad, corny jokes at the beginning. But it all in all, it was a really good episode, and it was really nice seeing Chopper get the spotlight. So yeah, if you haven't seen the Forgotten Droid, go check it out. It's definitely awesome. And it is leading right into next week's episode, which is the secret. I think it's the mystery of Chopper Base or the secret of Chopper Base. I think it's the mystery of Chopper Base, which is where they're exploring this new place they found that they think might be a good base for them. But yeah, the Forgotten Droid was an awesome episode, and as usual, I will link to Rebels Recon below. Today, I'm also going to link to This is Madness Star Wars character tournament at StarWars.com. Now, the tournament actually started, I think, a day or two ago. This is their version of March Madness, which I know about. I'm a basketball fan. And basically, every few hours, you go and you vote between two characters. Like, it started off like Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Padme. Right now, it's Luke Skywalker versus Hera. And then it's also, right now, Palpatine versus Asajj Ventress. Because basically, they divide them into two halves, like the NCAA tournament. And there's light side characters and there's dark side characters. And you vote between two. And then the winners go on to the next round, and the next round until you have two, and one of the two comes out as champion. So it's basically the ultimate light versus dark side battle at the end. And for the past 2 years, they've done this for like 3 years now, They did in 2013, 2014, 2015. The past two, in 2015 and 2014, the final two characters were Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. And 1 year Darth Vader won, and 1 year Obi-Wan won. And then like the year before that, it was Yoda versus Darth Vader. In 2013, it was Yoda versus Darth Vader and Yoda run. So light side's winning altogether. So I will link to that page so you guys can go and vote for your favorite character, and hopefully they make it all the way to the finals. So I will see you next week for Mystery of Chopper Base. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, and may the Force be with you.